All right, we're back. We're playing some Ghostface, and this will be an educational commentary. So the purpose of this educational commentaries are to review my gameplay, to see where I went right, where I went wrong, and to see how I can improve and you, the viewer, can improve as well. We're playing Ghostface today. This is my main, and I am using the same build because it is the best build. And if I've tried using other builds, and they just kind of suck. So that's not really much I can do about that. And you're gonna see a gameplay I'll put up if it isn't up already, where I use rapid brutality and save the best for last. And it's really not the greatest perk for Ghostface, like pretty much at all. I've tried it multiple matches in a row. It just doesn't seem to work out. And obviously we're going against like quadruple made for this in every single lobby and stuff like that. And then we're in a lobby here. As you can see, I haven't found a single survivor because they're playing hide and go seek for some reason. Now, what I should have done was break this wall down, because I did have the chance, considering I didn't really know, I didn't have any info, and then somehow a gen is flying, despite me walking around and not hearing or seeing a single scratch mark, not seeing anything at all. So we're trying to 99 these survivors here, so we can at least get somebody, and then we can try to chase one of them, have them drop the pallet, we break it, and then we could just knock them down with the one shot. It is pretty much our best bet here. Now, once again, they just somehow disappeared off the face of the earth. I really don't understand what's going on here. I wanted to check the lockers just to be sure. And I'm going to leave this video uncut for the most part so that you guys can see the type of just stupid matches I end up getting on this game for some reason. I really don't think Behavior really wants to do me any favors most of the time, and because of these garbage-ass lobbies. And this is no exception. So I want to use this as a lesson for, say, new killers or people trying to learn Ghostface, so you can understand that even though if you are picking this killer, you have to keep in mind that he's not as strong as the S tier, you know what I'm saying, like Spirit and Blight, you know, Wesker and Nurse and all that type of stuff. And he's maybe not even as strong as maybe the A's and B tiers, but, you know, he still is my favorite killer, and I do play him pretty much all the time. I don't really play any other killers. I do on occasion, very rarely, but most cases, I really don't. Now, I haven't activated my Night Shroud mainly because I wanted to make sure if I spot one of them, I can just hit them with the 99. But for some reason, I'm just walking around and not finding a single one. Now, this is probably one of the most boring matches you're ever going to see. So I'm going to try to cut out some of this stuff so we can get into the action. But, you know, we're going to keep it relatively unedited so that you guys can get the full effects. So, you know, we got our, finally we find a survivor after ages of not finding anything. So now we can go ahead and try to listen in, but we're not able to find them. So we're going to have to try to continue to follow. Maybe they'll give me another pallet out of this, but we need to at least try to get somebody on the hook as soon as possible, because we are very behind, considering it's been about, I'm going to say, about 3-ish minutes until I actually found anybody. So if they were split up on gens, this game would have been completely over. Now, mind you, this is a 4-man Swift that I'm going against, because that quite literally, like, I'm going to show the messages as well. They literally say that there were 4 of them. So this is the type of bullshit you're going to have to deal with. Now, we do have Spirit Fury here. We do knock her down, I believe. She doesn't have anywhere to go, so we do get Jolt value. And then we can just get our free pickup here. And we could try to start, bringing it back to our side. Now, we do have the gen here that's regressing. We can hook them right there. And obviously, now what we have to do is basically just kind of wait, because we don't have any information on anybody else. Now, I know the whole anti-camping measure is going to be added in, and it's going to make this play very difficult to do, especially with 4-mans that are going to, just kind of hide all game and do this bullshit. And I know all the survivor mains are going to lose their minds and rejoice, but at the end of the day, like, it's really just not great, because I lose yet another gen. So, but, you know, Behavior wants to hold the survivor main's hands at every turn, so this is not really a surprise, but, you know, it is what it is, right? I have my own, thing to say about that. Now, obviously, when it does get put out, I will just use it to my advantage. I will stay close to them so they specifically unhook themselves to make getting the second state even faster, because they're going to want to do that. They can't really, build up their unhooking thing without me being able to, without it being like paused or whatever have you. So we kind of have to sit here to force a second state on this person. We just kind of are forced to do that. We do mark them and knock them down, so we get Jolt to activate again. And then we have to shift our focus to the Zarina because we need to get somebody out of the game like as soon as possible because we're down to 2 gens when I couldn't find a single soul for ages. Now, me not breaking that door bites me in the ass because now I have to go all the way around when they can just camp the fucking, like, they camp the area. If I had broken that wall sooner, I would have cut down the chase by half the time. But now, but this Zarina's a bit of a moron, so we were able to at least get them on the ground as soon as possible. And then we get the pallet out of it. We get the second state on this. No, we actually get a kill off of this person now because of that, which is exactly what we need. And that's just how it is. It's unfortunately when you're playing a low tier killer like this, which mind you, like I've said, I main him. I only play Ghostface, but I do have to admit he's not the strongest. Like we really have to keep that in mind. So we have to kind of play a bit more, more sweaty than normally. You probably would have to say with like a Wesker or a Nurse or a Blight. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So especially at the high MMR, it is what it is. We're gonna go against 4-mans that are gonna keep sweating their asses off. They're gonna rush gens at the speed of light. You know, I do get the hit on them, but I want to make sure I can get the other person. She has balance, unfortunately, because it's always the second chance for everybody. We're going to keep following her because she's probably going to give me a pallet. That also means that I have Feng that's not on a generator. So they're going to keep this like trying to flash their life for no reason at all. They pretty much can't make it over. We're going to get our free pallet, and we're going to try to get our free hook here. Now, here's the issue, right? But no, actually, that's not the issue. I thought there was a different part. No, because I remember this game. So they're trying to waste time. They're just following me around. So that's one less person on the generator and one person in chase. So I do have them 99. I literally have no incentive to try to hook them. Now they don't know what the hell they're doing. So that helps out immensely because now I can just go ahead and mark up Feng here, right there, and then she does pre-drop. What I should have done was taking the stun first, because if I took the stun first, she wouldn't have had any distance. And now because I ended up using that time to pre-drop, I had to break it, then she makes the next one. Now, because of Spirit Fury, now it obviously does activate here. I am able to try to get close, but guess what? Now they're off the gen, and it's already down to 1, and I'm dealing with the body blocking already. So it's still not a good situation to be in. Now, due to the fact that, now she's just gonna run off, and I'm now breaking the door, that's horrible for me. Because now I have to go all the way up here, and then guess what's gonna happen? They have balanced. So they just fly off. I'm like, right. And then the other one is already fully healed. So they did pre-drop that pallet. That does bring me another one closer to getting my Spirit Fury. I can't make it to Feng, so we're just going to have to try to focus in on this one. We know Feng just refuses to touch the gen. So we're just going to try to focus on the other one. We are going to take another stun real quick. That's perfectly fine. Now, I'm not entirely sure how she... No, was she injured? Because now you're telling me that they're instantly healing. So I'm like, yeah, of course they are. Like, why wouldn't they be? It's always some bullshit. Now, we already know they're going to drop that pallet. They love to just drop them all. So we're going to get rid of that. And then we pretty much, we do have ourselves a 3-gen. Unfortunately, I wasn't really planning for it. But we are trying to at least get somebody injured and down as soon as possible. We just can't really commit to anything unless it's just quick. And efficient, which is really unfortunate. Like I've said before, if I was playing like any other killer, maybe a bit stronger, obviously this would go differently. But if you are choosing to play this killer, you're gonna have to kind of keep that in mind, that you are going to have tough matches, which it is what it is. But yeah, so we're gonna keep following with her. It's a super long ass chase. It could be made for this, to be fair. Like, it's a lot of the time. We do get Jolt to blow up both gens, so that's good for me. Now we know which gens that they want, and we could just hook her right in the middle of the 3-gen here. And then we do have to try to find the others because they're probably on another gen, probably doubled up on the gen. There are scratch marks kind of running around there, so we know that they're close. They did get stuck on the wall because they're obsessed with staring at me. So we're going to try to at least get our hit on the Zarina here. I did not get the hit for some reason. So I was like, let me just start marking because I know I can't just start running in the back of the map. I need to capitalize on them coming in for the save so they get off the gens. We do crouch here to try to shorten our little hitbox so we're harder to reveal. And we just kind of have to wait here. We just have to see if they come in for the save. I'm somehow getting revealed like very far away. I really don't know how that's possible. And we're trying to see if we can try to go for her again. We do want to get the hit there. Which is really unfortunate because she did have a good amount of stock. So I think that was a humongous misplay because I didn't realize, I wasn't paying attention to that. But we do need to go after her anyway. Like, you know what I mean? They're gonna, like, the Feng doesn't want to get on a gen. She really doesn't, so we can take advantage of that. Now we're gonna try to moonwalk that. We know they're just gonna hold W because I don't know what it is. Every time I go against survivors, they just hold W constantly. They don't want to like be in chase. Now she's running to the back of the map due to the fact I have Jolt. They're all calling it out in their party. Oh, he has Jolt. Run to the back. So I'm just gonna leave her there. I'm like, I have no reason to be over there. If I hook her, that's wasting extra time. I don't have that kind of time. So I have to go ahead and get our hit here. Now I have to kick this. I just don't have a choice because they're good. Like I said, the Feng doesn't like doing the gen. So we already know that she's gonna try to go pick up the other one. We already know that. I was trying to bait the balance that they did have it. It seems like they're still up there, so they're probably just waiting. But they do end up somehow disappearing again. I figured somehow they just went off the face of the earth. I don't know how that's possible, but I'm like, whatever. At least I'm like still have control of the gens. They are starting to waste time revealing. We know that, like I said, Feng refuses to get on the gen. This is the one thing that I know will work in my favor, and you have to keep in mind things like that are going to work in your favor. You need to keep that in mind. If there's an idiot survivor that's running around you, trying to follow you all game, that means it's one less person on the gen. All you got to do now, I don't know, my cloak is in charge, so I can't really get the stalking there. And like I said before, I don't know why the stalking is so finicky for some reason. Like, I'll be able to lean off of some things, can't lean off of others. And that's just something that just comes with the territory, unfortunately, when you're playing Ghostface. It is what it is. But they are taking the time out to heal because, the altruism is going to kick in. They're in a party. They want to make sure everyone's all healthy. Ooh, yeah, we're going to win this. Like, no, you're not. So we're going to go ahead and we're just staying within the area. We need this gen to regress. They're wasting more time off the gens by healing, so we already know that. Now we can get more stalking in on the Feng. Like I said, she's a moron, so she's just going to stand in the open. And I take advantage of that. So we're going to do that. But we need to find one of the other people. We need to find Serena or Kate. We need to get them injured as soon as possible. We do see the Feng there. She's the main one that just doesn't want to get on the gen. I keep saying this. She doesn't want to get on the gen. And she's going toward areas that, I get it. You're trying to pretend you're going to, like, oh my God, I'm totally the juicer of the team. No, you're not. So, we're going to try to just follow through. She doesn't have any options here because there is no pallet. As I've said, they just keep wasting them all. So we're going to try to force it down there. We already got it, obviously. And that works in my favor. Now what I can do is there's hooks right next to the gen. I'm going to hook them right there next to the gen so that I can just quickly turn around, go after the person on the middle building, in the main building. And then we can try to get them injured to get Jolt to activate once again. Now, because they're going to keep holding W, trying to run off all day long, we might not be able to get Jolt every single time. That's why we kind of have to stay within the space here. Now, we're going to take the time out to try to stalk here. If I had turned slightly to the right, I would have stalked a little bit faster because you can stalk off the wall. I didn't get to show it there. This moron is behind me. We're going to hit her again. Because mind you, if I keep hitting them, they're going to have to keep healing. So that is going to keep wasting more time. We do want to go back to this gen and make sure we kick it because it is going. And like I said, there's one person that isn't doing the gen. But that's something that I didn't keep in mind when I was playing because I should have paid attention to that because the Feng refused to get on a gen at all. The other two are trying their best to get on the gen. This one is pretty healthy. We can just kick it again. It's not ideal. Like doing what I'm doing is not the best case scenario because if I leave the gen to not regress, I'm just gonna end up losing it regardless. So I'm like, I can't get Jolt to activate because they're gonna run too far. So, it's not a recommended to do that normally, but when you're in a situation when you're kind of stuck in this a bit of a tight spot, you kind of have to work with what you have. So kicking the gen is the best case scenario that we have right now because I know no one else can close in without me downing them because the rest of them are injured and one of them is already 99. So it works out in that sense. Like I can still use that to my advantage. That's the only time I will recommend you doing a dry kick of a gen because mind you, I have Jolt. I need to down them to get the regression. But because I know that they're going to try to heal themselves, they're going to try to run off again and heal, I'm going to make sure I kick it because they're not going to come back. Now everybody's one shot. She is, they're all injured. So basically, this one's one shot. I don't know why I swung there, but it really doesn't matter because I'm going to activate the Shroud again. She's going to run back toward the gens anyway, which is what I want. We want to focus on the gens. We need to make sure the gens are regressing. And as you can see, she crosses over to try to tap the gen. We already know that. But because she's going to waste time doing that, that gives me the distance I need. But she falls straight down. Now, because of their stupidity and unawareness, because, you know, like, I already noticed Survivor mains are going to start rushing in the comments. Oh, what are you talking about? These guys aren't good. They didn't notice you were there. I'm like, well, I'm using my power correctly. It's essentially what you're telling me when you say that. So now we got them on the second stage, and we got a gen down 8% and regressing at the same time. So that's pretty good for me, and then if I might have been able to damage the other gen as well. So it's sparking pretty hard. We have that in our advantage. We're going to try to just take a look around, because you know the other one's going to have to hide. She can't come in for the save. So now, right now, we pretty much have them right where we want them, because they are going to go for the save. We already know this. Even if one person gets on a gen, it's still going to be a lot slower, because it's going to be an entire 80 seconds, depending on the progress of the gen, to complete the gen by themselves. And none of them are on the gen, because, you know, they want to go for the save. So if I get the hit on Kate, it would have to be the one person that's doing the gen. That's why I always say you have to kill somebody as soon as possible. As I keep saying, I know the Survivor mains will come in the comments and love to say, oh, you're tunneling and camping, but this is what you have to do in a situation like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not playing the strongest killer. If I was playing Wesker, I'd understand. If I was playing Nurse, I'd understand. But I'm not playing the strongest killers in the world. You know what I'm saying? So you have to play smart. I'm not going to let them get a free save and just let them run around and finish the gens for free. Like, you got to force them to make decisions. You got to force them into situations that they don't want to be in. Now, we're going to crouch and stay parallel with this rock, because they can't reveal me if I'm behind the wall, right? And then they're just going back to the thing there. We're going to go ahead and knock her down as soon as we can. Now, there is probably a pallet, but it doesn't really matter. She's going to try to run. Like I said before, they're on comms. So you know that because I have Jolt, they're trying to book it all the way across the map as hard as they can to make sure that I don't make the gen regress. But now here's the thing, though. Even if they complete the gen, it won't matter, because if they pop it, I'll know where the next person is. So they're already just throwing the match off it. It's like, I did get stuck there, but she is a bit of a moron. I somehow didn't actually get the hit, though, which was weird. So we knock her stupid ass down. And then now we can shift our focus over to the gen over there, because, you know, that's the one that had the most progress. And she is injured. It's, you know, the gen goes up, whatever. We're going to, as you can see, you see her crossing over, hiding behind the tree, thinking everything is sweet. You're not making it anywhere. Now, as you can see, their last resort, they're trying to calm corner, act stupid. Come on now, the game's already over, bro. I got to tell them no. Tell them no, because they're garbage. This is the type of bullshit you're gonna end up seeing in your matches if you get into high MMR. It is what it is. It is a fact of life. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And because the build is, you know, the way it is, I don't have really much information. It's a fully chase build. If I can't find a survivor, I can't get value. So that's just it. You know, it is what it is, right? But that's just due to the fact that because of my awareness, because of my knowledge of the game, and because I'm able to outplay these morons, it's gonna work out every time. So hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I know it was a bit of a long one. It's about almost like 20 minutes, even, but still, I think it is 20. It's like, yeah, it's almost 20 minutes. But I really hope you guys really took a lot of information out of this video, because, like, I know I always get that, little Timmy in the comments saying, oh, you're being toxic or some nonsense. I have to be, because they're just as toxic. Like, what the heck? And I'm gonna make sure I show the messages for you guys too. You know what I'm saying? Because they literally said it themselves. They're in a 4-man Swift. All right, so looking at the builds, you got 2 made for this, 2 balanced landings. They're on a map with a main building with high ground. And then you're gonna read the messages here. I put them all in the video. They said that they swung me, quote unquote, 5 times. I was scared to chase. No one was scared of anything, right? But right there, he says, you camped our 4th. That was a 4-man. You were scared to chase. We gave you a 3 gen. There's a lot wrong with this, right? Because survivors are very delusional. If you know, how are you knowingly giving a killer a 3 gen? That already raises a lot of questions. Something about swung 5 times? No, that never happened. Scared to chase? That's impossible. Because as I've noticed when I was playing the game, even reviewing this video and even just in general, the Fang was never on a generator. There was no reason to even go after her because she was not on a gen. So it only benefits me. But you gotta keep in mind, survivors are very delusional. But that is the end of the video for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. And hopefully you'll stay tuned for more Ghostface related content. This video is quite long, but I'm really hoping you enjoyed. I tried to leave it like relatively uncut so you could see the entirety of the match to understand the type of BS that I have to endure with this game. It is what it is. You know, it is high MMR. What do you want to do? With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something, and have a good one.